Hey guys, Infidel1258 here. Tonight I have a question from the audience, and this is a good one. And it touches on a number of topics I'm interested in. Splinterlands, the economy of our game, and kind of real world bullion markets too, gold and silver. And so let's read the question and let's get into it. It's about our economy within Splinterlands. Gathering the Magic says, question, everybody's going to sell their DEC once the airdrop ends. Is this a good move, or should people be looking at the current DEC SPS ratio? Similar to the gold-silver ratio, if ratio gets too high, like 100 to 1, you sell your 1 ounce of gold and you get 100 ounces of silver. If the ratio gets lower, like 71, you sell 70 of your 100 ounces of silver and buy back that 1 ounce of gold. Currently, the ratio, I think, is around 76 DEC to 1 SPS. Is this a good ratio to sell DEC or sell your SPS and convert to DEC? Curious on your thoughts. So it's a great question. It's a great question because, one, it's actually introducing a way of thinking through reallocating value in Splinterlands to maximize your potential appreciation by holding the best asset at a given moment, and recognizing that you never need to take 2 feet out of this economy to profit from within it. You can keep 1 foot in it and move slightly to the left or slightly to the right, making alterations to how you're invested and what your portfolio looks like, while staying in Splinterlands to really take advantage of this amazing blockchain-based video game, which is unique, I think, in its longevity, its resiliency, the clarity of vision, the promise for our future, the fact that it survived a bear market already. All these different arguments you could articulate around why this game is exciting as a opportunity, setting aside how great it is as an entertainment. But just from the opportunity standpoint, there's a lot of reason why you want to be excited. You might be excited for being here. And then thinking that through, well, if I'm disappointed by DEC being where it's at, the price, you might say, well, the only play is to come in here and buy Chaos Legion packs. And I do think that's a really great opportunity. I think it's an amazing opportunity, given that they are pegging their DEC at 1,000 equals $1. That's a huge opportunity because DEC currently is around, look at that. Wow. I don't know if I've ever seen DEC this low, ever. I might be wrong about that. I don't think I've ever seen it this low though. Even when I was using some Hive and Steam to transfer into dark energy crystals for the purpose of arbitrage playing untamed booster packs, it was never this low. It was 650, which was, a full 5% better than this. This is saying 1,000 DECs worth 60 cents, and Splinterlands is going to accept 1,000 DEC for $1. That's a 40% arbitrage play. That's awesome and exciting, and maybe that's the end of the conversation. Maybe I could just say to Gathering the Magic, I could just say, yeah, this is what you're saying is interesting and worth discussing, but the real play is forget about moving into SPS at this time. Just the arbitrage opportunity here within Chaos Legion is the only opportunity you need to focus on. In some sense, that's actually how I feel. But I've told you guys that a few times. That's what I'm doing. I've got 2.6 million DEC and it's going into packs, period. In fact, if I sell any of my major cards that I have a couple on the market, then I will buy more of these because that DEC, one, the DEC is going to pay me SPS in the form of an airdrop over the remaining 23 days. And it's not inconsequential. We have to before we fully answer his question, we have to articulate why DEC is interesting within Chaos Legion as an option, because that is the option we will ultimately compare to the idea of moving from DEC into SPS. Okay, so very quickly, you've heard me say it before, But the arbitrage play moving into these Chaos Legion packs is a 40% discount, right? Because you get your DEC through the Hive Engine marketplace at that price that we just showed you, 0006, and you can sell it back to Splinterlands for 40% for 001, and that's 40%. It's darn near double what you just put into it. That's interesting. But then there's better than that, because you could hold on to the DEC for 22 or 23 more days, whatever I said there, 23 more days, and you're going to get SPS airdrops, and it's going to be substantial. If you come over to the tools section of Splinter cards, you can see the SPS airdrop calculator, and let's just say you have 2.6 million like I do. There you go. And then you can say calculate, and you can see that daily you're going to get $7.38 from that process. So for 23 days, you can get $170 over the remainder of the airdrop just by buying this much DEC. And this is about $1,800 approximately, $1,600 actually. And so you could, for $1,600 US, you could have $170 worth of SPS for free between now and the end of the airdrop. That's benefit number one. Benefit number two is when the airdrop runs out, you can come into the shop and you get that immediate arbitrage opportunity with the Chaos Legion packs, getting a 40%, almost double your money back in the form of packs, because that's how they've pegged it within Splinterlands. And point number three, you can actually get bonus packs when you buy, if I want to buy 700 packs, which is what I'm going to buy with my money, you can get 105 bonus packs if you have 105 vouchers. Well, how much are vouchers? Vouchers are pennies. Vouchers are practically free. They are 36 cents per. Yep, 36 cents per voucher. And so if you come in here and buy 105 of these, you're looking at what? $40 US, $37 US for 100 packs. That's, guys, that's 37 cents per pack for 105 packs or whatever it was. And so now you're getting 805 packs for roughly, well, let's quickly just do it. Let's do the math to show it, and then we'll finish this. This will conclude this part of the conversation, and we can compare it to the other alternative. Look, we want to buy 700. We've got $1,600 US worth of DEC is 2.6 million right now. Okay, actually I gotta go like this. I want to buy 700 packs, so I need 4,000 DEC per pack. So I need 2.8 million DEC, which times by 0.0006, that's the current DEC price, is $1,680. That's what you need to invest. $1,680 is going to give you enough for 700 Chaos Legion packs. Plus you need to add in $36 for those vouchers we just looked at. And that's it. And with $1,700, you're going to get 800, I think in 5 packs it was. 805 packs you're going to get. So we go 805 divided by 1716, which is the US dollar value of our investment. And this is, no, that's the other way around, isn't it? 1716 divided by 805. Yeah, there we go. So you're paying $2.13 per Chaos Legion pack. And guys, and you are going to get all 6 Legendary Summoner airdrops for sure, guaranteed, at least one copy of each one. And those have a value. And so I'm going to say those are probably worth $50 each. That's $300 worth of cards. That changes the math again in your favor. But I would argue that you wouldn't want to sell those. You're going to want to hold on to them. So that's an exciting opportunity. That's an amazing opportunity. If you're already sitting on DEC, this is something to strongly consider. And this is the option that I'm personally considering. But the question from Gathering is a great idea too, actually. And I've never thought of it that way. I enjoy buying precious metal, gold and silver. And I actually watched the gold to silver ratio myself. I haven't seen what it is like recently, gold silver ratio, because I'm not currently looking to trade. But where are we at? Trading silver. There it is. I just need to know this out of curiosity now. Wow, we're up above 90. we're above 90. We haven't been this high in a while. That means it'll take 91 ounces of silver to get a single ounce of gold right now. This, when it gets into this range of like 90 plus, in my opinion, that's a strong buy indicator for silver. And it seems to me like, anyways, that's a separate video. Love that you were thinking that way though. So yeah, I mean, it's an interesting approach. And I do think something around that thinking makes sense. I guess where I need to land though is I don't yet know how to think through what a reasonable exchange rate would be. And that's the key to your suggestion, because what you're saying makes tons of sense. If you could play a trade where 100 DEC got you 1 SPS, and then the ratio changed while you were holding the SPS, you could switch back around, just like you suggested in your currently the ratio I think is around 76 to 1, or hang on, where'd you say it? Yeah, right there. If the ratio gets too high, like 100 to 1, you sell your 1 ounce of gold and buy 100 ounces of silver. What you're saying is, in your analogy, if you move your DEC into SPS and then your SPS spikes relative to DEC, then you could profit by that, just going back and forth between those two. And I think it's really smart, actually. I just don't know how to assess what numbers or thresholds would really be great targets. And I mean, you kind of throw out there, you note that it's around 76 to 1 right now. I don't know how to establish what would be a reasonable window. When we look at gold and silver, you can look at historic data over decades. In fact, let me try and pull it up right now. Gold silver ratio, and I know there's a window that gives me this over the period. I think it might be Kitco. Yeah. So this window, 30 days, 60 days, 1 year, 5 years, 10 years. And I know that for a fact that there's longer data. You can go even further, 40 years or so. But if you look at this 10-year window that I'm looking at, you can see that there's an average around the 70-ish, right? And I would argue that if you look at older data, the average looks more like between 20 and 40. And so I feel like there's decades of data around bullion that would to me imply a range of around 40 to 60 is it's time to start liquidating silver. But 90 to 100 starts time to start buying silver. And I would feel confident doing what you're saying in the context of bullion. But within the context of DEC to SPS, I feel like you have to unpack, I guess, the future, the fundamentals around DEC over the coming months and years. Are we going to expect significant downward pressure in the coming bear market? Is it going to stay around here? Is it going to bounce up after we get kind of weak hands selling it after the SPS airdrop? I think this stays down for a while until such time that, I mean, here's the thing. I mean, some of the big fundamental concerns around DEC are that we've got a new rank reward coming, and that's going to give you wild format with so much DEC per day, and modern format with duplicate amount of DEC. That's going to be a doubling of the DEC that's available to the players in this game. I would argue that's going to be a pressure that's going to continue to hold this price down. Possibly lower than it is, but at some point you start to create buying pressure with the DEC because of the arbitrage opportunity with the Chaos Legion packs. And obviously that's not really a driving factor right now because this number isn't shooting to the moon. So most people are reluctant to try the arbitrage play at this moment in time. Maybe it's because of the recessionary conversation in America. Maybe it's because, Bitcoin's in the crapper. Maybe it's because, who knows? It's probably 20 different variables. But you have to kind of think through what is going to go on with DEC so that you can then compare whether it's at a reasonable price, a low price, or a high price. And then you need to do the same thing with SPS and then be able to decide whether the play in the short term is DEC or SPS. And I don't know how to think that through, except maybe to just superficially say it's possible SPS is a short-term pump as Rift Watchers is coming soon and people need to use SPS to buy Rift Watchers. And it's probable that DEC has a negative price move in the short term because Chaos Legion packs are... because SPS airdrop is ending, point one, and point two, because the Chaos Legion packs are not yet near their 15 million limit. Once the Chaos Legion packs start getting maybe in the 14 million range, I expect the packs to sell rapidly because that's a moment in time where buyers will recognize that their buying an asset is now limited. There's only so many left on the shelf. It's actually quite... with a million left, that'll feel like they're practically all gone. And I could imagine certain buyers coming in and buying, tens of thousands at a time again to replenish what they imagine will then be sold for far more than the purchase price. And so, one more time, I can imagine, and this is just a guess, but I can imagine SPS having a positive priceward movement between here and the launch of Rift Watchers. Positive, going up in price. And I could imagine DEC stagnating or staying at this level. And so that's just a theory though. And I'm not going to bet on that. But if you hear some value in what I've just said, dive deeper yourself and ask, does it make sense that SPS would pump before the Rift Watchers? And when is Rift Watchers launching? And how much pump would I expect with that? That's an interesting conversation that would take probably 20, 30, 50, maybe an hour to kind of unpack deeply. Separately, I've articulated one theory why DEC would stagnate between now and the coming weeks and months until Chaos Legion packs get in, probably the 13, 14, maybe even 14.5 million packs sold range, which is potentially weeks or months or... I think not longer than months away, but that's the medium term. That's my best guess at what's going to happen. And if you felt that was accurate, I guess you could try what you're talking about gathering, and you would theoretically sell your DEC. Hang on, let me think this through. So SPS is going to pump. You would, if you believed what I just said is probable, you would theoretically take your DEC and put it into SPS. And then you would wait for the SPS to pump on Rift Watchers, and you'd move back into DEC. And at that time, maybe you'd be, getting a sizable increase in your amount of DEC and possibly still be allowed to buy these packs because maybe these packs haven't sold yet. Total conjecture. I have no way to say that that's going to be the way things play out here. And I'm personally not playing that angle because I think the easiest play is the one I articulated in the first 5 minutes of the video, which is doing the arbitrage within the Chaos Legion packs. And while your analogy is deeply interesting because I think it speaks to an opportunity in the future as we start to feel out the ebbs and flows, the waxing and waning of the price of both DEC and SPS, because I think we are going to see more chart and more pattern and more discernible discernible pattern. I want to see discernible relation between DEC and SPS that has more history to it. SPS is still so new. I mean, DEC is erratic, just moving all over the place because of the largely because of the SPS airdrop. And that's really strange too, and hard to properly understand how it's going to bounce out of that. I think I articulated what's going to happen, but I'm just guessing. But then SPS is like relatively a brand new coin. All the history brings us back to July of 2021. So, I mean, we're like not even a year old yet. Coins like this could go through a 4-year cycle before you really would feel, before I think people who analyze charts would feel, oh, I believe X is for sure going to happen next. And some people have shorter term time scales, but all the chart analysis I ever look at, all the TA I ever listen to, is usually using longer time horizons to then understand trends and expectations. And so in the end, while I'm interested in what you've discussed, and I think there is an opportunity there, I would have no idea how to play that. And I think SPS is deeply interesting. And so if I could move from one DEC into SPS and then grow my investment within the game, and if you're capable of doing that with technical analysis, wow, that's exciting stuff. That's really interesting stuff. For me, knowing what I know and just being more of a long-term, I'm here for not days or weeks or months, I'm here for years and years, long-term investment. And also I understand the fundamental analysis around these packs are limited in number and they will sell out. And when they do, they're going to appreciate wildly. I have huge confidence in that statement. And as a result, I feel entirely confident that this play that I'm going to do into the Chaos Legion packs, using free SPS as an incentive, using voucher discounts as an incentive, using legendary summoner airdrops as an incentive, and $2.13 packs is what we showed earlier as an amazing incentive with airdrops. And then just deeply knowing that those packs will appreciate wildly at some point in the future. Again, is that months away or years away? I don't care. That's where my confidence rests. And as a result, this would be my play. But I see so much interest and excitement in what you suggested. And I think there is a way to navigate that. It's beyond my skills. And you would need that technical analysis to kind of dive deep into that relationship. It would be a fundamental analysis of DEC, a fundamental analysis of SPS, and then an analysis of their ratio, because there would be a ratio you could find and then you could track and really monitor. I'm going to leave it there because I think there's one clear-cut choice, and it would be playing the arbitrage. But really great comment, and thank you for sharing that. And I'm going to send you a little thank you. Appreciate you. Thank you so much, Magic the Gathering. And guys, anytime you have a question or a comment, drop them in the video that you're watching. If I see it and answer it, I will send you a thank you after I answer it. Have an amazing day, guys. Appreciate you. God bless.